Hello students, welcome to Shubhra Ranjan IAS. My name is Shubhanshu Jaiswal and let's continue our daily current affairs practice. Now in question 1 today we have, recently Chungthang Dam was in the news. It is located in which of the following state or union territory? So the correct answer here is Sikkim. I'm very sure you know the answer. You must have read or heard this in the news. However, is UPSC going to ask such a simple thing? No, rather they will ask you something conceptual, something fundamental related to this news incident. What are these things? We need to know. Fine. So first of all, what has happened? So this particular dam has been breached, has been ruptured by the huge amount of water in the Tista river. And from where did this water come? It has come due to GLOF, Glacial Lake Outburst Flooding. Now what is GLOF? Before understanding GLOF, understand what is glacial lake. Okay, let's start from basics. Fine. So here, have a look at this picture. You can see in the mountains only near the glacier, if you have certain depressions, fine, low-lying areas. Now, because of the melting of ice or snow, what will happen? They will get filled with water, forming a lake. Such a lake is called glacial lake. Now what is important about glacial lake is, number one, it is at a good height. Fine. So that means it will have a good potential energy. Fine. Huge amount of energy. Second, it is bounded. It is actually, the barrier which is containing this water is fragile. It is not very solid. It is not very strong, because most of the time it is, sediments, barrels, boulders, stones, etc. So with the disturbances like earthquake or huge amount, very high level of water, such barriers can be disturbed, and this may lead to the outburst of this lake. Such a case is called glacial lake outburst flood, because it eventually, the outburst will cause flood in such settlements. Fine. So this has what happened recently in the state of Sikkim. The lake here, I am taking the example. So the lake here responsible was actually Lohnak Lake, which is located in northern Sikkim. Now the huge amount of water has come with a very high speed, carrying a lots of boulders, big stones, vegetation, etc. And it has hit this particular dam, Chungthang Dam, and eventually damaging it to a great extent. Fine. So this is the news. This is the concept which you need to know. Few factual things which you can remember is the location, the geography, etc. So where this dam is located, you can see in the state of Sikkim, there is the town Chungthang town. It is located at the confluence of these two rivers, Lachung and Laching. These two rivers are forming your Tista river, and on this Tista river you have this particular Chungthang dam. So now you can understand, when huge amount of water from GLOF came through this, it caused the damage here. Now this led to the flooding in your downstream areas. Fine. Which has in a way disturbed the entire state of Sikkim. You can just have a look. This is the old picture of this particular dam, and this is the current state. Fine. So huge amount of destruction of lives and property, and also this particular dam is actually the part of the largest power plant in your Sikkim state. Fine. These are the things which we have discussed. You can just have a reading. One thing important about GLOF is that these days the number of cases is going to increase. In fact, in 2023 year beginning, there was a report which highlighted that more than 15 million people are at the risk due to disaster like GLOF, not just in India but around the world. Now coming to Indian, which states are more affected? Obviously Himalayan states. Fine. And we are perhaps seeing this in the way of these incidents. One is what has happened recently. Another prominent example being in the year 2021, when similar incident happened in Chamoli district. Fine. So these are the things which you need to keep in mind, both for prelims as well as mains point of view. Now let's go ahead. Now another question on Nobel Prize. Fine. Now consider the following with respect to quantum dots. Number one, these are the nanoscale particles made of semiconducting materials which exhibit distinctive optical and electronic characteristics owing to their minuscule dimension. So yes, they are pretty much describing what quantum dots are. So yes, this statement is correct. They have wide applications in fields such as electronics, medicine and display technology. Yes, this is also correct. Any such new technology will always have, many times they will have wide applications. Fine. Third statement, recently 2023 Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded for the discovery of quantum dots. Yes, this is also correct. So that is why this question is here. So here all the statements are correct. Let's go ahead. So these are the people who have, these are the scientists, Mongi G. Bavendi, Louis Bruce and Alexei Ikimov. Fine. Don't get offended if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Fine. The context is more important than the pronunciation. So these are the people who have got this Nobel Prize. Fine. It is for the discovery and synthesis of quantum dots. Fine. Application, as I said, in the variety of areas: electronics, medicines, display technology and so on. Fine. Yes, one thing important about this quantum dots is it can actually convert the high frequency. If the size of the dots is big, it can convert it to the low energy waves, and if the size of quantum dots is small, it can convert the high, this frequency shows that it is a high frequency wave, it can convert it into the higher frequency. So by varying the size of quantum dots, you can actually manipulate, you can moderate this particular wave's frequency as well. Fine. So this is just for an idea how we can use it in the variety of places. Now next question, with reference to National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, consider the following statement. Number one, it is a privately owned company which maintains the infrastructure investment funds for international and Indian investors. So here actually it is a wrong statement, because government's body, by governments, there is a agency, there is a company which is NIIFL, National Investment and Infrastructure Limited. Now this is the body which looks after such funds. Fine. So this particular statement is incorrect. It is registered with SEBI as category 2 alternative investment fund. Yes, this is correct. NIIF manages 3 funds: master fund, fund of funds and strategic fund. So these statement is also correct. So here only 2 statements would be right. Now why it is in the news? Because recently what has happened, yes, so NIIF has collaborated with Japan Bank of International to raise a fund of India Japan Fund, which is of worth $600 million. Fine. This fund is being managed by NIIFL, National Investment and Infrastructure Fund Limited. Now what is the objective? Why this particular fund has been created? To basically increase the investment, to catalyze the capital in the country. Rest of the things are which we have discussed. Now, with reference to International Coral Relief Initiative, consider the following statements. Number one, it is an informal partnership among nations, international organizations and non-government organizations to help protect coral reef globally. Yes, so this particular body is actually, as the name suggests, it is an initiative, and this particular body, ICRI, is taking care of corals by preserving them and protecting them. Fine. So here in this, various nations, international organizations and NGOs are participating. So if they are from the multiple dimensions, then it is informal. Okay, now what is the objective? Statement 2 says that it aims to implement Agenda 21 IG target of Convention on Biodiversity, Biological Diversity's 10-year strategic plan. So these conventions, these plans, these targets are concerned with, they are related to your marine life, preservation of your ocean life, and corals is an essential part of your ocean. So yes, this statement is also correct. Third, it is the only global entity solely devoted to the coral reef. Yes, this particular body is totally related, totally dedicated for coral preservation. So here all the statements are correct. Fine. Let's go ahead. So you can just have a quick look of the advantages of coral reefs. Fine. The good quality of corals is actually essential for good marine life. Fine. In fact, it is also important for human life because they help us in slowing down the energy of tidal waves. Fine. So they moderate the huge amount of energy of waves, so they help in the soil, reducing the soil erosion, etc. Fine. Now coral is an important part of your UPSC environment area, so just have a look. Fine. So what has happened recently, countries have pledged to raise 12 billion of fund for coral reef protection. Fine. So rest of the things as we discussed. Chapter 17 is again related to your oceans. Fine. And IG target 10 is again related to your 10-year plan. It was actually UNCBD's, UN का एक कन्वेंशन था टू कंजर्व बायोडाइवर्सिटी. इन्होंने एक प्लान बनाया था 2011 से 2020 तक के फेज के लिए, टू उसमें अलग अलग टारगेट्स थे, एंड वन ऑफ देम especially I think the 11 which was there in the previous slide related to the oceans and corals. Fine. So they are doing the variety of work, for example to increase the awareness on coral reef. Fine. Promoting the sharing of best practices related to your coral management, capacity building, fine, etc. Fine. So these are the things which you should know about ICRI. Fine. Alright, so these are the things which you should know. Just in case if there is any part which you have not understood clearly, you can just mention it in the comment section. We'll be happy to help you. Thank you. Have a good day.